All right, so so now we have our warm up. Gonna move on to my original character. So you guys probably already know some background about him. If not, I'm gonna reiterate it. So that's the Imian. The main character is Bon Joon Ki. His name might be subjected to change as the more research I do because their name's supposed to have some sort of meaning. His name supposed to be Haitian Creole for strong heart. And as I continue to look through some stuff or whatever, I got this Haitian Creole dictionary, but it's I've been got it, but it's just so elementary, I guess you can say. It don't have a wide range of words and connotations and stuff, and annotations and stuff that I would like to delve more into. So there's that. But anyways, I forgot to go play on that shelf and get that sketchbook down. I guess I just remember from this. So I might have to cut my what you calling off my green screen off so y'all can see this. I might just have to cut my green screen off for y'all to see. Put that out there. So this is him right now. I just did this a couple weeks ago of him. This is facial structure and everything right now, and his hairstyle and everything. So this is him who will be drawing. I did not. I don't think I did a whole breakdown yet. I have not. Also, this is his son. This here is his son as well. Named Lee. See, look at it. I messed up down the eye. I can see it and I messed up on the eye. So, Lee Key. Here is another sketch. This is like from the first part of the story. You ever read the story on Wattpad where he's looking at the flowers and everything because he's a husbandry. He does what you call it. So Bon Joon Ki, his character is supposed to be this strong guy. Cute, thank you. He's supposed to be like this um mentally strong, non-emotionally showing, logical thinking. The guy who's been trained up by his father. I'm about to say Abba, who was trained up by his father. Although Abba isn't in the story, it's just me. And he's basically still, even in his growth as a man, still learning the ways of how to be more um what to say, level headed in situations, I guess. But he has some things that's holding him back where that he don't think he's adequate enough. So I'm still trying to play around with this. So what is the message I'm trying to give out through this character? So what is his message? If you, even though you don't think you adequate enough, keep going. Or even if you don't think you adequate enough, or you don't think you the same my guy saying, yeah, yeah. If you don't think you adequate enough, like pursue the thing that you think that will make you adequate enough. So, or just face your insecurities head on and fix yourself within, you know. So I'm still playing around with that. Like this will be my first major story, whatever. And so, and in the previous video, you've seen the progression of his look and everything. So today I'm going to try and digitally draw him versus me putting him on sketching paper like I usually do. So
while I draw him, I'm going to read to you guys the first chapter of his story called Dance of Imbium. So, his story is basically about him going on this journey to find his kidnapped daughter and at the same time restoring the kingdom, restoring two kingdoms that split apart a long, long time ago back into one. So, as I read this, there will be changes in the future of this. I already started formulating ideas of how I want it to go. So if you guys want to be like, what they call it, draft readers or beta readers or something like that of the story, you can just let me know in the comments below, as I will be writing multiple opening versions to this story to try to gauge which one, is better, I suppose. Also, if you would like to read what I have already, the link to the Wattpad where this story can be found will be in the description box below. So check it out. Check it out. So here we go. Let's get started. Oh, also, my voices may change up a little. So if I like derail off from a specific voice, my bad. I am not a voice actor, so but I do like to give like little voices to the character or whatever. And sometimes I forget what voice I gave him. So, anyways, let's go. Chapter 1: Dance and Protect. A man is stooping down, examining a plant under the clear, bright, laminated sky. Sweat drips down from his cotton white hair to his face around three colorful pearls embedded in his brown sugar skin that is under his right eye. He scratches his nicely trimmed beard and looks over at a young boy as he is picking small heart-shaped leaves off a tree and placing them into a black sackcloth bag that seemed to be nearly filled with the plant. He looks back at the plant he is examining and smiles. "Garçon, one day I hope for you to take over the business," he says. The young boy lowered the bag and turned to look at the man. "No way, Papa." The man stops examining the plant, stands, and walks towards the boy with a calm demeanor. The boy is almost a spitting image of him, with the same brown skin, cotton-like white hair, and pearls in the same exact place. He looks the young boy in his hazel brown eyes and says, "Why not? You will be helping people young and old. Many people come here to study the plants that we nurture, and many are saved by them." "I know, Papa. It's not that I don't want to take over the business." He drops the bag and extends his arms out wide, looking around the field of plants. "I want to own a chain of herbal medicine business throughout the land, all with your name, Papa. Bonjour Key. This would be my way of honoring you, Papa." Bonjour Key gives a wide smile. His grayish eyes gives off a twinkle in the sunlight. He stands near his son, who is just a bit above his chest and slimmer in body frame. Still with a calm demeanor, he leans over and says, "Oh, really? You don't say. How will you pull it off, Petit Wee?" Wee drops his arms and places his right hand on his chin. He looks up into his papa's face with a grin. "Well, I have friends in neighboring villages who have connection to bigger towns with fertile lands. We all decided to pitch in our resources and skills in order to make it happen." Don John Key pats his son on the back, leaving a dirty handprint on his light green cotton shirt. "I believe you can do it. With your knowledge of plants and your business sense for your age, you can pull it off with time." Wee nodded his head and said, "Watch me, Papa." He then went back to gathering the leaves from the tree. Bon John Key walks over to a yellow flower where its petals blooms on all sides. He stares at it for a few seconds after lowering his head. The calm face that he held just moments ago was now full of sorrow. He shakes his head and looks towards the sky. The sun stood in the middle. "We, it's noon. Let's head back." We dust off his shirt in cotton black pants and grab his bag of leaves. They both walk through a path that takes them to a high hill. They climb the hill, and at the top is a well. We set the bag of leaves down and set it at the well's mouth. He pushes a button on the side of the metal railing of the well, where it automatically brings up a bucket of water. He takes a large cup-like spoon from above the space on the railing and takes a drink. Bonjour Key picks up the bag. He looks out towards the horizon where the village is in sunlight. He could hear the sounds of chins running as their mechanical hybrid bodies run along the street, the sound of children playing, crying, and yelling, women chatting, and men working. He says to we, "Tired already, Gasa?" We takes 3 gulps of water and looked over at his father. "Just thirsty, Papa." They continued down here from the well. Suddenly, Bonjour Key stopped in his track, holding out an arm to stop we as well. "What is it, Papa?" "Something isn't right. Stay still and don't move." Suddenly, to the left of them, in the dense bush of a high tower shrub in the nearby wooded area, was a pair of glistening eyes reflecting off light towards them. "Stay close to me, godson," Bonjour Key says as he maneuvers his son behind him. The pair of glistening eyes moved out of the bush and into the pathway. It now was attached to a large head and body that stood well over Bonjour Key's 6-foot body frame. Its dark fur with even darker stripes is dripping wet. Its elongated tail sways back and forth behind it in the air, defying gravity. It smelled of lake water. Behind it was 2 little ones that looked just like it. Over its left eye is a gaping scar. It stares at Bonjour Key. Bonjour Key stands firm and stares back at it. The giant creature soon dropped its tail low and walked towards Bonjour Key with a lowered head and a loud purr. Noir Tafi, I see you remember me. It's been years, old Noir Tafi. Bonjour Key says as he rubs her head. "Papa, what is that?" we asked with a shaky voice. "Noir. This is Noir. She is a tick." Our first meeting wasn't as pleasant one as you can see from the scar on her face. During my training with my papa left me for a few days and I tried to rescue her cub from a high water cliff. Let's just say there was some misunderstanding and everything seems to be okay now. The cubs run around Bonjour Key and rub against we. They are about his size. Noir and Bonjour Key stops their cuddling session when they both hear a noise from behind we. Suddenly, out of the thicket of the brush came another tig. This one is bigger. "Crap. Here's her husband, Raj." "Raj?" we says with an even more shakier voice. Let's sidestep slowly away, we. We do not want to piss off Raj. We legs were stuck. He couldn't move. Raj gave a loud growl, causing tig spit to splatter all over Wee's clothing and face. Crap. No good. He's scared stiff. Going to have to run for it. In one quick motion, Bonjour Key sweeps Wee off his feet and begins running. Raj tries to run after them, but Noir steps in front of him with a loud hiss and growl. Raj pushes Noir out of the way and begins pursuing them. Crap. Wee, listen to me. I'm going to put you up in a tree and I want you to not say a word, okay? Hold your breath if you could. This will only take 10 seconds. We, still in fear of seeing the beast and the roar, couldn't say a word. His breathing became rapid. His eyes began to turn red. Oh no, not now. Hang on, Gasa. Raj almost caught up to them until Bonjour Key suddenly jumps out of his grasp and into a nearby tree. Raj sniffed the air to follow where they went to. Bonjour Key lays we on the thick branches of a large tree. Hang on, Godson. Raj spots them in the tree and roars. Bonjour Key stands up and gracefully jumps down from the tree. Okay, Raj, you and me. This is like old times. The beast ran at Bonjour Key The beast ran at Bon Jon-ki with an open mouth, baring his razor-like teeth. Bon Jon-ki holds his ground and doesn't move. Raj clamped his mouth around Bon Jon-ki, yanking to pull him from his spot, but he couldn't move him, nor could he penetrate Bon Jon-ki's skin. I'm not a boy anymore, Raj. You gave my papa respect. I also demand that respect. Bon Jon-ki grabbed the pig mouth, pulling him apart from his body. He pushed Raj about several feet. He runs towards and punches the giant beast in the forehead, causing him to wobble and collapse from the trauma. Noir and her cubs came over sniffing Raj to see if he was dead. He isn't dead, Noir, just knocked out. I'll move him into the forest off the path. Bon Jon-ki takes the pig by the tail and drags him 20 feet within the dense wooded area. He pats Noir one last time. I have my own family to protect as well, Noir. Take care. He runs back to Wee to find him passed out. Wasn't an attack this time. Wee, wake up, godson. Bon Jon-ki pats his son's face. He grabs some of the linda leaves and a liquid mixture from the bag. He dips the leaf within the mixture and slides it under Wee's nose. Wee suddenly awake with his face screwed and gasping for air. He looks at his papa with a confused look. Suddenly, everything that happened came back to him, and he lowers his head in a tearful shame. I'm sorry, Papa. I'm sorry I'm no good. It's not your fault, godson. Don't worry about it. You are still my godson. Good thing you didn't have an attack, seeing that your medicine is not with us. Why weren't I born with a strong heart? Why am I so weak? Everyone is weak in something, godson. It's what you choose to perfect yourself in. You may not be able to learn the ways of Auntie, but you are smart, godson. Use what you know to protect yourself in that. To perfect yourself in that. Okay, Papa. Bon Jon-ki and Wee started back on their way to the village. They came unto the village entrance with a large sign They came unto the large entrance with a large sign being held by two pillars that read Vanti. They walk along a pathway in the village out of the way of carts being pulled by chuns. Women walking, carrying large decorative pots filled with water or food on their heads, some with their child on their backs in a sling. Little kids running up and down the street, running errands or playing tag. Men carrying wood and tools, building or crafting, laughing and chastising their little ones who makes a mistake at their work. Oh, always busy at the 7th hour, Wee says. Have to keep it moving, godson, or else nothing will get done. As they walked, there were a few other people with the color pearls under their eyes. They greeted William Bon Jon-ki, putting their right fist over their hearts and saying, "No se famille." William Bon Jon-ki returns the greeting, saying in unison, "No se, no se." They continued to walk down the pathway, making a right into a blue building with a large window with flowers, liquids, and powder substance on display. Right above the building is a large sign that says Bon Jon-ki Medical Herbs and Essential Aromas. Standing behind a black case counter with decorative carvings is a dark-skinned woman with brown grayish eyes. She is wearing a colorful head wrap of purple, blue, red, and yellow that matches with the long dresses she has. She has oversized sashes that are draping from both sides of her shoulders. She also has the 3 pearls under her right eye. She looks up at the two as they walk in and says, "Welcome back, Frey and Nave." She gives them a warm smile. "Thank you, my lovely Seh," Bon Jon-ki says as he walks around the counter and sits the bag of leaves on the table. "Thanks, ma tante Lo," Wee says as he goes and take a seat next to her. "Bon Jon-ki, my godson, I need more mint leaves and lavenders. I thought I told you to bring those. What am I to do with linda leaves?" He Contant from Soleil Rouge village made a request from 10 stocks of peppermint oil and lavender oils. says an elderly woman who is sitting at another table while running her hands through a bowl full of fat and flowers, extracting oils from the flowers. They aren't ready to be harvested yet, Mama. Bon Key replies. They're never ready. You should have different yards where they grow at different times of the year so they can be harvested whenever we need them. Bon Key puts 2 fingers on his forehead and massages it. He then walks towards his mother, gets on his knees, and cups her hands into his, looks her in her dark brown eyes, and says, Mama, you are my mama, my only mama. To you I give the utmost respect. Please listen to me when I say that I have told you 100 times that it doesn't work like that. You used to be an expert at this, Mama. Mama places a hand on his head and says, Bon Key, my petit garçon, you are my godson, my only godson. But even if you have told me 100 times, I have forgotten. Tell me 100 more. Mama isn't going to be around much longer, you know. Bon Key smiles at his mother and then stands up. He kisses her forehead. Mama, I see Noir. She has new cubs. Oh, does she? She's about as old as this lamb. A lot of her cubs running around. I can remember the first time your papa introduced us. I can remember when I had to introduce myself. Wasn't nice. Speaking of, I seen Raj as well. Raj is one feisty tit. From the look of it, I'll say you and we had a run-in with Raj? You can say that. Hopefully, I earn my respect from him this time. We looked at the ground. Mama, we has been thinking of something that may help us in the future and others. Go on, godson. Tell your Grammy your idea. Me and some friends are planning on making a chain of medical herbal fields in large towns, we says. Flo perks up at her seat at the counter when she hears what we says. Oh, really? Delo says. That sounds great, Navi. I can probably get in touch with the team and let them know about your idea. I'm sure they will want to know where our plants grow. This is the only place Sia and Latte get the henbane herb, since it's so hard to grow in Chi-Town. Yeah, that's a great idea, ma tante. I'll send my friends a message to let them know. Petite. I think that's a bad idea, says Mama. Wee overexcited face slowly goes into a deep frown. Flo looks equally depressed by her words, but Bon Key looks as if he expected her to say so. Wee walks over to his grandmother and gets on both knees and cups her hands into his. He looked into her eyes and says, Grammy, you are my Grammy. To you I give the most respect. Why is it a bad idea, Grammy? I mean, we can help so many people who are sick and wounded. She places her hand on Wee's head and says, There are many things that I'm forgetful of, Petit, but war isn't one of them. You have to understand Eclerage, and Lopli have been at war for over 700 years now. If not for the band of Eclerage, Lopli and Vanti, if not for the bond of Eclerage, Lopli and Vanti, your ancestors, we probably wouldn't even be able to exist here. However, I feel in these old bones that living unscathed isn't going to last long. As time go by, new generations of those kingdoms get put into power. With the new generations comes new ideals, new goals. They tend to put away old ways and want to fight for new ones. They tend to forget promises. And the way things seem to be going on now, with the snatching of villages all around both kingdoms from Eclerage, I'll say our time's just about up. She touches the color pearls that are under her right eye. Not everyone in this village have these pearls, you know. Yes, I know, Grammy. Do you know what they symbolize? Yes, the bond between our family. Mama looks over at Bon Key. Have you not been teaching the boy? Lord John Key, with a sudden saddened look on his face, replied, saying, "You know why, Mama. That's no excuse. He has the right to know our history entirely." Mama turned back towards we and said, "These pearls are symbolism of the promise made with Vanti, Lopley, and Ecklerod. Only those who are the direct descendants of Vanti and are initiated into the Vanti line are to wear these. Those with the direct bloodline are even born with the 3 holes to place the pearl. Although, not all, but there are rare jewels who even unlock Vanti's strength. So far, there have been a record of 5 men and 3 women who have unlocked Vanti's strength. And out of those men are your grandpapa and your own papa." Wee eyes grow big as he looks over towards his father. But even with these holes in our face, the new generation will not listen. Bon John Key leans against the edge of the wall that is near the table and his mother. He looks at his son. He looked at his son and gives a deep sigh and says, "Godson, you are my only godson, and I treasure you more than I treasure myself. Although you can't reach to be physically strong like your ancestors and myself, you can reach to be mentally strong in what you do best. I know you, godson. Don't let this information get you to thinking you can pull off miracles when you have no experience." We looked down at the floor. "No, godson. Look at me. Don't look at the floor. Look at Papa. You are not to try and train to get the Vanti strength." "Wait a minute, Frey. You yourself gained Vanti strength back." "Dlo! Don't. That was time and chance. Don't have him thinking that something can happen when he was born with the malady." Bon John Key yells at Dlo. Dlo just stares at her brother in surprise. We also give a surprised look at his father. He never heard him speak in such a way. Bon John Key says to we in his usual calm voice, "Listen, godson. Just don't get any crazy ideas in time when your emotion is high. I learned this from experience. Things don't always turn out how you would like them to." "Okay, Papa," we says. "Think about it, Petit," Mama continued. "If we expand in both territories, they may not be so friendly. Even though we lay in between the 2 kingdoms, we aren't a part of neither. Vanti, this, who this town is named after, was our only reason for living here. And knowing Eckleraj, they would most likely try and force us to their side, one way or another. So it's best not to even do so." We stands up and heads for the door. "Where are you going?" Bon John Key asked. "To send some Afeni to a few friends, to let them know the situation." Bon John Key nods his head and says, "All right." We goes out the door. Dlo holds her head on the counter looking down. She seems to be in deep thought. "My godson." "Yes, Mama." "Remember your papa words." "Huh?" "Remember your papa words, my godson." Bon John Key smiled while he thinks back to a time when his father always gave him lessons on how to talk to others, how to cherish the moments they had with people, and how to keep those close to him that tells him what he needs to hear rather than what he wants to hear. He thought on how his father even taught him to put emotions aside and look at things logically. His mind drifted to memory of when his father did something he felt at the time was cowardly. His father ran into trouble with a group of men who were harassing a girl in town. The men pulled out their swords and pointed them towards his father. They cursed him. They spit at him, and one of them even pushed him. Bon John Key thought at the time, as powerful as his father was, as strong and nimble as he was, he took them bullying him. But his father's eyes stood tall in his conviction. They were fierce. They had strength. Just from a glare, the man's backed off. He felt angry at his father. He yelled out at his father, crying, asking why did he let them do that to him? What's the purpose of him training every day if he's just going to let a bunch of idiots push him around? His father's exact words to his outcry was, "We don't train to strengthen the body, but the mind. Our strength is not our own. We don't train to kill. We train to protect. Protect those who are weaker than we are. Remember to protect. Remember to dance. Bonjour Key came back from his childhood memory and said to his mother, "Dance and protect." Mama nods her head and goes back to extracting oils from the jasmine plant. And that is the end of chapter 1. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. And if I go, well, it ain't no if, I will. So the next time I draw another character or anything from that particular story, we can delve into chapter 2 if you like. Let me know what you thought about the story below. I know there's a lot of things I'm going to be changing it. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of cuts from that first one. I did get feedback before on it, so yeah. So anyways, let me know what you think, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Also, let me know what you think about his character design. I'm still messing around with it, so things his like his name, his face, his maybe his hair, I don't know, clothing, all that may change in the future. But it's still all the work in progress. We gonna take the slow road with this one, trying to get it perfect. Well, near perfect. But anyways, later, guys. Remember, keep drawing, keep going, and don't stop.
Thank you guys for viewing my channel. If you would like to see me screen my art and chat art and anime, follow me over on Twitch. The link will be in the description box below under all my links are here. Do you want to know when I go live? Join my Discord where you get live updates when I go live. The link to it will also be under all my links are here. Remember, art grinders, keep drawing, keep going, don't stop.